Hi guys, so this is a very specific confirmation for someone. This is not a word for everybody. However, we can all learn from the words. I always say that there's always going to be words of wisdom in the words that's going to help so many people. Even if you're not going through something in the moment, later on you may reflect back at this word and it may remind you about something that you learned, and that may actually help you in the moment. Okay, now this is for someone specific. The Lord wants to confirm to you that your discernment was actually correct about this individual. Okay, and again guys, test the spirit and take every word to God to confirm if this is a word for you. But the person this word is for is going to already know because it's very specific. All right, so you were right about this person, and somebody came to you and told you basically that God told them or showed them something about your life. Okay, and what they told you was actually not correct. You know for a fact that it's not true, because whatever dream or whatever they're interpreting is not actually happening in your life. But they accused you, or they said something to you, and then they used the word or they used God to try to convince you that what they saw was actually happening in your life. And you know your life, more than anybody outside of your home, but you don't know your life more than God. God knows your life more than you, right? However, the person interpreted what they said to you incorrectly. And here's what the Lord showed me. The Lord showed me that some people, when they feel a certain type of way about you in their heart, they will interpret things wrong about you based on how their flesh feels about you. They already don't like you. They already have animosity towards you. They're already feeling some type of way about the things you say, the things you do, etc. Like you already trigger them. Their interpretation of that is based on how they feel about you rather than based on what God is actually saying to them. And when a person is stuck in their ways, whether they're prideful or they've already made a decision to believe whatever it is they feel or think about you based on their flesh, then it's going to be very hard for them to accept the truth when it comes to you. Okay, so somebody came to you and told you something about your life that you know is not true. You know it's 100% false. And what God was showing me is they actually misinterpreted something based on their own flesh, based on their own projection, based on how they feel about you. And they interpreted it wrong based on these emotions, okay? And the problem with this is that this happens so much in the body of Christ, and not just in the body of Christ in general, but it happens so much in the body of Christ to the point where people are so quick to run with first thing they see instead of actually going to God and confirming things with God to make sure that they've interpreted things correctly. And then what happens is it creates a lot of gossip, it creates a lot of chaos, and then it creates a lot of problems. But 100% that happens a lot, where some people, it doesn't matter how the dream was shown to them, it doesn't matter how the vision was shown to them, it doesn't matter what was said to them in the spirit, they will interpret it based on how they feel about you if they are not discerned, and if they are prideful and they don't like to receive correction. Okay, so the Lord mentioned that you're correct about this person. Like when this person said this to you, you knew right away that they misinterpreted whatever they said to you. And you felt like they were just saying this based on their feelings for you. And this is actually correct. Their misinterpretation of what they saw was based on how they truly feel about you. That's where they got the interpretation from. Okay, so this is Matthew 7, verse 3-5. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So this is just confirming that the person was basically so focused on you, and they were so focused on their ways about you, the way they feel about you, etc., that they missed the correct interpretation as to what was being shown to them. Okay, they misrepresented what they saw and what they heard based on their flesh and how they felt about you. In the book of Galatians, Paul also talks to us about testing our own spirit, which is very important, because if we don't test our spirit, right, and we try to test the spirit in other people, we may misinterpret, or we may end up misjudging someone based on how we feel about that person. Okay, so it's very important that we test our own spirit before we try to test the spirit in others. Okay, so I want to give you this confirmation. You can stop walking on eggshells now. Whoever you are, because I know you're probably walking on eggshells like, what did I do wrong? Literally, it was gaslighting. The person projected and they wanted to throw off your day, throw off your mood, or they wanted you to feel like you're on the wrong path or you did something wrong. But you obviously know it was a misinterpretation, because you know that what they said they saw or heard, you know for a fact it's not true. However, it did make you feel really uncomfortable based on the fact that somebody would even come to you and say what they said to you, right? So you could stop walking on eggshells. So anyways, I love you guys. I will see you guys later. Bye.